Good morning, Nick. Well, look, it is, as you say, very good news today. We've got headline inflation down to 3.2%, and crucially, food inflation falling from 5 to 4%, which is really fantastic news. It is faster than a lot of commentators had predicted. Inflation doesn't always fall in a straight line, as you'll know. But the thing that I really kind of want to emphasise is this also hasn't happened by accident. When the Prime Minister took office, inflation was at 11%. He pledged to halve it. We've more than done that now, and that has been as a result of working very closely with the Bank of England, so monetary and fiscal policy working together to bring this down, which means the economy is now turning a corner.
Noting you've referenced food inflation, but when will some of my listeners in the good folk of Sevenoaks see the advantages as regards possibly interest rates, Chief Secretary?
Well, this obviously opens the door to a change in interest rates, but that is for the Bank of England and one that I am very strictly not allowed to comment on any further.
One headline says Bailey, as in Andrew Bailey, hints UK will cut interest rates before US. Comment on the headline if you would.
I've got to be very careful with commenting on the Bank of England and interest rates because they are independent for a very, very good reason. But what we've done is make sure that inflation is coming down, working very closely with the bank. And that obviously opens the door for interest rates changes. But I really am going to get in trouble.
OK, let's get away from the detail. Just lastly on this, can you confirm you'd at least welcome a cut in interest rate? That would be something that you would... I'm not asking you to say it's going to happen, but it's something that you would welcome for the vote, for the listeners and the voters.
Obviously, if that was a decision that the Bank of England took, which they felt was the right one, then obviously, yes, I would welcome that, Nick.
Let's get something then that you can give me your view on. Did you support the smoking policy last night in the vote?
I did support the smoking policy last night, and I'm very pleased that it passed. I think it's a huge step forward for public health, and smoking is the leading cause of ill health, of disability and death in the United Kingdom. So I think this is something which is a good step forward.
Yes, closely behind is alcohol. When will the Conservatives be banning alcohol?
We will not be banning alcohol.
Well, why would you ban smoking for certain generations? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Why would you make it impossible for certain generation to buy cigarettes, but they can go and buy, when they're older, they can go and buy vodka, wine and beer?
Because alcohol and nicotine are very, very different in terms of the effects, the addictive effects of them, and also the wider effects they have on people around you. So they're not the same. There are absolutely no plans, nor would I ever support any plans to restrict alcohol.
Why was there a degree of Tory revolt over this last night, do you imagine?
Well, it's a free vote, Nick. You know, this happens with a free vote. You and I are both old enough to remember that when Tony Blair had his vote on smoking indoors, John Prescott, who was Deputy Prime Minister at the time, voted differently. You know, this is, a conscience issue. It's always been a conscience issue. So parties will vote differently for individual members.
Other matters, a report by the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health is saying that their smacking must be outlawed across the whole of the United Kingdom and point to a loophole in the law. Noting that you're a mum, have you ever smacked your children?
No, I haven't. I think this is a really difficult area, actually, and one that we should also always kind of think about whether we've got right. My own view is that actually we have a very strong and clear framework in the UK about child abuse and any form of violence towards children. That's obviously clearly illegal. We've taken lots of steps to make sure that all the agencies involved with children are on heightened alert for any form of child abuse. So I think we've got the balance right in the UK. I think we have the right laws in place. But this is always...
sorry to talk over you. I do apologise, but the UK is slightly different because Scotland and Wales, it is completely...
Scotland and Wales are different.
It's England and Northern Ireland. On you go, Laura Trott.
You're completely right to pick me up on that. That's correct. It's different. I think we have the balance of laws right in England, but that is something that we should always discuss, and I think it's right to do so.
All right. A couple of other things. Lord Cameron, as we understand now, arrived in Israel. Do you have a sense of what his message will be to Prime Minister Netanyahu and to others?
Yeah, I think that obviously what happened to Israel was completely unacceptable. But the message that Lord Cameron is taking is one absolutely of asking for restraint. We think that that is the most important thing right now. It is in the best interest of everybody in the region.
And finally, coming back very much to your brief as Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Sick Note Britain, as it's called. Is there a problem here? The number of people on long-term sick leave has risen to a new high. Data from the ONS shows virtually 2.9 million people long-term sick. This is a major concern for the economy, isn't it?
It is a major concern, and it's something that we've been doing a lot on. You will have seen that in the last two... Yes, no, I completely accept that. I recognise that. I think that they've come down since 2010, but I think on this particular issue, it's something that we are working very, very hard on. The last two fiscal events have had plans to help people back into work for exactly that reason, and plans that the ABR say, should have an impact. But it's something that we are very concerned about and continue to monitor and to look at what.
But how are you going to? I mean, we've got 4.2% unemployment in the UK. And almost a record number of people on sick notes. Wouldn't it be a good idea to get some of those people into work? That would be the solution to some of this, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And
so what are you going to do about
it? What we want to be doing. So there's two bits of it. So on the unemployment side of things, we recently took greater powers to make sure that we are encouraging people back into work, to make sure that they have to take a job when offered, to ensure that they cannot just stay on unemployment benefits indefinitely. And then on inactivity more broadly, we're offering greater support to people to make sure that they're not written off, that they continue to have to undertake some work activities. So all these things together we think will start to make a difference, but it is a big concern to all of us.
Grateful for your time, Laura Trott. Thank you, Chief Secretary of the Treasury, explaining how inflation is down.